to another Comsewogue News. My name is Matt Schneider. A little footnote before we begin tonight. This will be our last edition of the news for the year. So without further ado, let's head to the stories. We start off with whether subjects are being treated equally in the classrooms. Luna Khalil went down to find out. Luna?
Thanks, Matt. This is Luna Khalil, and I'm here at Comsewogue High School to find out if subjects are treated equally in school. Do you feel that subjects have the same treatment in school?
I think that the administration and all the adults involved view all the subjects as equally important, but I think that sometimes the special areas have a problem with scheduling because of our 8-period day, so it's just hard for students to take all the classes that they want within an 8-period day.
Do you feel that subjects are treated equally in school?
I think they are. I think, especially as a staff, I think we look at things and look at each other's subject matter as equally as important, because things that students will learn now, whether it be in science or whether it be in phys ed or whether it be in art, are things that they can use later on in life.
And do you feel that any subjects deserve more time in school?
I don't believe they deserve more time. I think some subjects need more time, and I think there's an argument for any of them. I think you can argue phys ed needs more because they're lifelong activities, things that you can do forever. But then the math classes, things they're going to use for the rest of their lives. So I think there's an argument for every one of the subject matters.
Thanks, Luna. We shift gears now to the bell music. It finally came back after a week long of AP exams. Let's see what Comsewogue thinks about the bell music. Claude?
Thanks, Matt. This is Claude Corbett, and today I'm talking to kids about bell music. What are your thoughts on the bell music?
The bell music is sometimes okay, but sometimes there's songs on there that I don't even know what they are, and it's just not my kind of music that I listen to.
What music would you rather hear on the bell?
I'd rather hear more of like a diversity, like music from different decades, not just on Throwback Thursdays. Like you just do different types of music, maybe like some from the early 2000s, some from today, some from the 90s, 80s, 70s. Like that's a good diversity, and I think many people would enjoy that.
How often would you like them to switch up the bell music?
Probably every week.
What are your thoughts on the bell music?
I think it's not entertaining. It's really bad.
What would you rather hear on the bell?
Country music, personally. Yeah.
Do you feel like they change the songs frequently enough?
No, not at all.
How often do you think would be good enough?
Every day, just put on new songs.
And how do you feel on days when there is no music as opposed to when there is music?
It's very depressing. I look forward to the music.
Thanks, Claude. The AP exams are over and done with for this year, but students next year taking the AP exams, if they want to know how to prepare, how the students this year did on their AP exams, Jake went to find out the scoop. Jake?
Thanks, Matt. I'm here interviewing students about what they think of the AP classes and the AP exam. So do you take any AP classes right now?
Yes, I take AP Comp.
And do you feel that it's important to you at all?
Yeah, for sure. It's a higher level of education, and it looks better for colleges, and it just looks better overall. And if you do good on the test, it looks really good. Maybe get some credits.
And how do you prepare for the test, like the AP exams?
AP Comp, we have boot camp, which is basically just like 3 weeks of extensive work, and we write 2 essays a week. So it's a little much, but I guess it's worth it in the end.
Do you take any AP classes right now?
Yeah, I take AP Composition and AP Bio.
Do you feel that they're important to you at all?
Yes, I like both classes a lot, and I have learned a lot, and it will prepare you for college, even if you aren't deciding to take the AP exam, so they're just good classes in general.
And how do you prepare for the examinations?
You should study. I don't, which is bad, but you can go to review classes if your teacher has them.
Thanks, Jake. What changes are in store for the cafeteria? Comsewogue Food Director Doreen Burke is going to fill us in. Edison?
Thanks, Matt. I'm here with Doreen Burke, the Food Service Director at Comsewogue Schools, and we have a couple questions for her regarding the Chinese food here at Comsewogue. Now, why Chinese food over anything else, like Spanish food, Latin food, Indian food?
Because we do a lot of Spanish-based foods. We have tacos and Tex-Mex and such. Indian food we haven't really gotten into, but it's always something we could look into. And truthfully, the Chinese food was something that Chinese New Year was coming up, and the kids had showed an interest, and one of our vendors had offered to come and do a taste test. And we had them come in November, and it was a huge hit. the kids loved it. We had chicken teriyaki and we had General Tso's chicken. So asking around and going out and talking to the students and asking them what they thought while they were eating, they said, yeah, they would like it and they'd like to see it again. I had ordered it after the holidays, and what happened was one of our pieces of equipment that I need to use to cook it broke. So I had to wait until I could get that repaired before I could make it. But that's why we had the Chinese food rather late in the year, and we will be having it again before the end of the year. So if it really becomes a hit, if you put something on every week, it gets boring. So I just figure that once a month, a little something special, do some changes. It's good for you guys that you get a little variety.
So is there any idea when, at the end of the school year, it might reappear with the Chinese food?
It'll probably be the first week in June.
Okay.
Okay, and next week, in 2 weeks, we're actually going to do a yogurt bar, where you'll have different toppings on a yogurt. You can put it on top of the fresh yogurt, whatever kind of topping you like. So we're going to try that. We're also looking into some vegan options. So it's a work in progress. We do have guidelines that we have to abide by, and unfortunately they're not always very popular, but we have to abide by state rules. But we try and be as creative as we can because we know you guys are older and you're used to having a lot of different items. So try to be as creative as we can and stay within the guidelines, which sometimes is hard.
Besides the yoga bar and vegan food, is there any other ideas that might appear in the future for meals?
We're trying now, we're doing different toppings on the pizza on Friday. Today we have spinach and mozzarella, and we had meatball toppings on the pizza. Any ideas are always welcome. I love sitting down and talking with you guys. You're older, you understand that there's guidelines and rules about things that I can and cannot do, but you also come up with some awesome ideas. So if anybody has any ideas, drop me a note or get in touch with one of you guys, and you can get in touch with me and I'll see what I can do.
Thanks, Edison and Mrs. Burke. We turn the tables now to Comsewogue's talent on full display in this year's art show. Luna?
Here at Comsewogue, our students have a lot of imagination, and I went to the annual art show to see the creative talent that we have to offer. What do you consider your best piece?
I consider this pillar here to be my best piece, mainly because I took a lot of time figuring out what to use, what medium. So for this, I used wood and paper clay, and the paper clay gives a really, brick look. And a lot of people are like, oh, is that brick? And it's not. It's just paper clay.
And where did you find inspiration for this piece?
The Haunted Mansion from Disney World. They have pillars outside that say the ride name, Haunted Mansion. And for Halloween every year, I try to make it look like a Haunted Mansion type of thing. So that's what inspired me to make those.
How do you feel about your art being in the art show?
It's kind of weird. I'm not used to it being displayed like this, but I kind of like it. It's nice having like a giant wall that you can just kind of decorate.
Thanks, Luna. On a more serious note, we spoke to Mrs. Brundage about this year's Ride for Life ALS walk. Mikey?
What does a Ride for Life mean? Like, what's it all about?
Well, the Ride for Life is an event that started 18 years ago by Chris Pendergast. He was a teacher, and he was diagnosed with ALS. ALS is known as the creeping disease or Lou Gehrig's disease, and usually you die within 1 to 4 years of being diagnosed with this disease, and 6,000 people a year die from ALS. Comsewogue got involved with this from the onset, and we've been donating money, and to date I believe we're up to almost $30,000 that our whole school community has contributed to this. And these people in this ride, they're so inspirational. They come here in their wheelchairs, and they just want to raise awareness about this disease and try to get support from the community.
Thanks, Mikey. That's all we got for this year's news. Signing off is Matt Schneider saying stay well, stay safe, and stay classy, Comsewogue.